It's me, Mario! Hello! Okie dokie.
Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I have baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach. Let's go!
Yeah.
Here we go! 최고! Here we go! 최고! Here we go! 최고! 해고. Here we go! 해고. Here we go! 해고. Here we go! 해고. Here we go! Here we go! 최고! Here we go! 최고! Here we go! 최고! Here we go! 최고! we go! Here we go! 최고! Here we go! 최고! Mamma mia! Here we go! 최고! Mamma mia! 최고! Here we go! 해고. Here we go! 전화
stars is restored to the castle. And it's all thanks to you. Thank you, Mario. We have to do something special for you.
Here we go!
Listen, everybody. Let's bake a delicious cake for Mario.
Thank you so much for to playing my game.